If you're shooting at dots going into season, you need to stop. It's likely doing you more harm than good. In this video, we're gonna show you a simple way to prepare for deer season and make you a better shooter overall. If you've ever pulled up on a deer and felt the urge to pull the trigger, then you're experiencing target panic, and shooting at dots can make this worse. Because what you're doing is you're conditioning your brain to settle on a target and then immediately release the arrow. And when you do that on a deer, this ultimately leads you to release the arrow before you're ready, and sometimes can result in bad shots. So the first thing I do when I'm preparing for deer season is I want to practice aiming at an undefined area, such as a deer body, a large dot. The less defined, the better. If you don't have that, you can either put on a paper plate, you can spray paint your target, or you can even shoot at the gaps in between dots. And I do this because it forces you to then focus on a smaller area in a less defined space, just like when you're shooting at a deer. This is the first step to preparing your brain for what you're going to experience when you're in the field. You need to try to put yourself in as real situations as possible. Practicing like this repeatedly will eventually calm your mind, help you to focus on a small area within a large undefined space, and ultimately reduce or eliminate target panic and help you to make better shots. Once you've got comfortable shooting at a large blob or an undefined area, the next thing you want to do is start focusing on specific parts of that area. So what I do is I always aim at the lower third of whatever undefined space that I'm looking at, because I want to start practicing for when I'm aiming at a deer, hitting the lower third of the body. I want to make sure that I'm used to having my focus on that spot, because 99% of deer drop when they hear the arrow release. And so you want to make sure that you're focused on that lower part of the deer body in order to account for the drop when inevitably you release your arrow. You can see that I've all but worn out the bottom part of this target, and most people would think, oh, you're hitting low, you need to change your sight or you need to aim higher. No, I'm doing that on purpose, because when I get into the woods, that's exactly where I want to aim at that deer so that it drops right into my arrow. It doesn't matter whether a deer is relaxed or on alert, they're going to drop. There's a very common misperception that shooting at relaxed deer prevents them from dropping. If you're doing that, you're going to start missing high, because even relaxed deer drop. We can show you video after video of deer dropping like this, so you've got to practice for what you're going to experience in the field. The last thing I do is I shoot at long distances. My sweet spot is 55 to 65 yards, which is well beyond any shot that I'd ever take in the woods. But what that does is it forces me to really focus on my mechanics. It forces me to stare at the target and not my pin, and then focus purely on my shot process. A lot of people don't realize that you do not want to look at your pin when you're shooting a bow. It's something that I struggled with for years before I realized that you want to actually look through your pin and stare at the target that you want to hit. It's the exact same concept as shooting a shotgun. If you're shooting a shotgun, you want to have both eyes open, you want to be staring at the target, and you want your hands to naturally move with your eyes on that target. The exact same concept applies to bow hunting. So by shooting at long distances, it forces me to not be able to see a defined area, to stare through my pin and focus only on the spot of the target that I want to hit. And at that distance, you're only looking at a general area of the target. You can't actually see, a specific spot that you want to hit. So it's really good practice for your brain to go through those reps and start to break a lot of those bad habits that you may have. Most importantly, when you get into the woods and you have a 20 to 25 yard shot, it's going to look like a chip shot if you've been out there practicing and driving arrows at 55 to 65 yards. That's it. If you follow this simple routine, I guarantee you that you will be a much better shooter and you'll be much more prepared for the season. Hope you liked this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell to be notified of new videos, leave us a comment below if you have any questions, and as always, make sure you watch more of our videos by clicking right here. Thanks for watching.